Would you enjoy Metroid Prime Remastered if it's older than you are? This game is an all-time classic for a reason, and many of the core mechanics still feel fresh, like using different visors to reveal hidden information and even enemies, or revealing the story through exploration instead of passively watching cutscenes. The level design has always been one of the most innovative aspects of this game, and I'm happy to say it holds up, and I even say that as a fan of more conventional shooters like Call of Duty and Halo. And then there's the music. Can we just appreciate the soundtrack of this game for a moment? But no game is perfect, and the original did have a couple of sticking points that might stand out to a younger generation. The first and most obvious is the control scheme of the original, and the next is the god-awful save stations that were way too far apart. Remaster is a pretty vague term in gaming these days, ranging from simple direct ports of the original game and assets, to graphical overhauls that add game modes, weapons, and content. Metroid Prime Remastered falls somewhere in between. The graphic updates are impressive and will make you totally forget this was a GameCube game, and the option to play with standard dual-stick controls is extremely welcome, and the star of the show as far as I'm concerned. But outside of that, there aren't any significant additions or revisions, which leads me to my biggest gripe, those save stations. I know retreading the same ground is core to the Metroid franchise, but I've never been a fan of re-exploring the same areas over and over, so that's bad enough. But missing a jump and losing a huge chunk of progress feels even more tedious now than it did in 2002. The fact that this game is still stuck with the old-fashioned save stations was nearly enough to make me step away. But I'm a grumpy old guy with not as much time to play as I used to have, so if you've been playing roguelikes in your formative years, or starting fresh every 10 minutes in Fortnite, then you probably won't have as much of an issue losing bits of progress now and then in Metroid Prime. So yeah, I think an entire generation of gamers is primed and ready to love this game for the first time. I take my thumbs off the dual stick control scheme just long enough to give it a thumbs up.